I'm Pilè. Today we're going to be debating on the topic of the effects of euphemism in society. I have with me here today Desch and Cash Jowers. We'll start off by defining euphemism. It's a mild or indirect word or expression substituted for what considered to be too harsh or blunt when referring to something unpleasant or embarrassing. We'll start off with some initial thoughts on euphemism in general. Tommy?
I don't like them, Ryan. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I'm not for euphemisms, and I'll tell you right now why. We need to, as a society, learn how to accept reality. You get where I'm coming from here? Too much beating around the bush in society. If somebody dies, we need to just say he's dead. He died, all right? No more he passed away, no more of that stuff. Seems a little extreme, but in my eyes, that's just the best way to do it. Just call it how it is.
All right. Cash?
Well, Ryan, I just kind of think it's a little bit too blunt. Euphemisms are a way of just padding the sharp words that can hurt someone's feelings. Like, I would rather much have my child say, "Oh gosh darn," than "God fucking damn it." I mean, one's just a lot harsher than the other, and I think that if we pad our words, it can have a better effect on society.
So do you think euphemism has a lot to do with morals?
I mean, you could say that. Like, someone with bad morals would probably be more inclined to say curse words and other things like that, but not necessarily, but I could definitely see someone with bad morals swearing more often.
Okay. Well, I'll start off with my first question here, one of three. How do you guys feel about the veil of euphemism that has been cast over society?
Well, I think I already kind of answered that with my previous statement. I think it's just euphemisms, another way to protect the people, such as in government. Let's say, I don't know an example. If you're talking about foreign affairs, 50 soldiers died or something like that.
So you're saying like during times of war when they release death tolls and stuff like that?
Exactly. Collateral damage.
Right.
No, that's our own stuff got messed up there. Don't call it collateral damage. Get a fancy name for something. Just say like we fucked up or something went wrong.
You think they should just give
the whole story? Tell everything. Tell it right away. Tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
How do you think the public would react to that if they knew everything?
Well, the public as of late has seemed to have had a lot of they've been really upset with how the government's been hiding things, such as the recent NSA, phone tapping, things like that.
Right.
The people have been really upset that the government was hiding the fact that they were doing that from us. So I think maybe it'd be a better thing for us as a people if we knew what was really going on all the time.
Turn it over to you, Cash. How do you feel about the veil of euphemism that's been cast over society? Maybe we even want to tie it into the government look on it.
Well, I was kind of planning on doing that. Like you said, Tommy, let's just use war as an example. Lots of people die in war, and you said that the media should just come out and say, "Oh, so-and-so people died." No sugarcoating it or anything like that. How would you feel if you had to be the soldier that walked up to a young little girl or boy's home, and would you and you had to tell them their dad was dead? Would you rather be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, your father passed away," or "Oh, your dad's fucking dead, go suck a dick"?
Well, I wouldn't be that vulgar about it. Maybe in that situation, you gotta tell a kid. I would hate to use the word has passed away or moved on, and then the kid, maybe got the wrong idea, depending on what age he is. He's too old or not too old, sorry, too young to understand what, maybe passing away or moving on means. Maybe the kid's going to get the wrong idea saying, if I tell a kid your dad's moved on to another life or something, or to heaven or whatever, he's not going to know exactly what that means. He might think, my dad doesn't love me anymore, and he decided to go get a new family with whoever.
So you think euphemism
it confuses people.
It's misconstruing
exactly.
reality. Okay. Move on to my second question. How do you guys feel about the effects of euphemism in advertisements, such as overstating something, their product, or exaggerating an effect their product might have, or even to their competition?
Throw this one over to Cash. Let him start with it. I had the last one.
Cash?
Okay, well, if I understand you correctly, then I believe that it would probably be a good thing. Euphemisms would probably boost sales. They're meant to describe something in a more creative and colorful way. Just companies would use them to try and increase their profits. And if you think about it from a corporate aspect, it's probably all about the money anyway. You're going to want to sell as many of a certain product as you can, and the public, like, just if you're just trying to describe what the product does, and you need to sugarcoat it, make it seem better, why not do it?
I agree with that, but isn't advertising, it's a two-way thing, you know, you have the consumer and the producer. What about the consumer? What if he's not getting all the information he needs?
Well, just kind of sucks.
Tommy?
Let me ask you one question. Have you ever seen a Viagra commercial?
I have.
Just bear with me here. Okay. Have you ever noticed at the end of the commercial they say very quietly and very quickly, they got some speed talker in there saying, erection lasts more than 4 hours, please seek medical attention. You know what happens when you got a boner more than 4 hours?
I do not.
Chop your dick off. Alright? Now, I know maybe you're trying to get your pills or whatever, and they're telling you, you said, oh, worst case scenario, I gotta go see a doctor. Alright? That euphemism of saying, just go see a doctor. You know, if you knew exactly what that meant before you took the pill, you probably wouldn't be so interested in the pill.
Here we come from. For the final question, how do you guys feel about its effects on home life?
Turn this one over to Tommy since he threw the last one.
Well, home life, it's a tough question, because, you're going to be raising kids someday, hopefully, and it's really a tough road to be on, because I like to tell my kids, like I said earlier with the early example with the soldier, just tell kids how it is, not lead them on, get any false hope or anything like that. I don't know, it's really a hard one to answer.
What about in terms of how the child is brought up? Should they know what a funeral is? Like what happens at a funeral?
Absolutely. I don't understand how you could. Well, I've noticed when you can tell when you get to a place like college who came from what kind of home, who's sheltered, who's whatnot, because some kids have no idea what's going on in the world, anything about what's going on in pop culture with the government, because they're sheltered as kids. Their parents, kept them away from that kind of thing because they didn't want them to see the bad side of society. Right. And then you get to a place like the real world, I guess you would say, and they really have no clue of what to do, what's going on.
Cash?
Well, I guess I'll agree with him up to a certain point.
What point?
Children, I believe that children do need to be, or have some sort of veil cast over their eyes while they're younger, and you would gradually introduce them to the real world. If a 3-year-old has a family member die, you don't need to immediately tell them, oh, just suck it up, you're never going to see them again. Like, some false hope might actually help them in that situation. And as they're older, you either help them understand that, oh, I'm never going to see whoever again, they're dead, and that's a bad thing, or they can just come to that realization themselves.
So you think a white lie never hurt anyone?
No.
Well, that concludes our debate for today. Once again, I'm Pilè. Thank you for joining us. It's a wrap.